Aaron here from the Blue Dragon Guild, and today I want to try something new. There's been a trend of a lot of YouTubers in kind of like the D&D and the hobby kind of space doing some like daily vlogs, just some daily hobby vlogs. And I kind of want to try that out. I want to see what that could do. I honestly, I don't even know. It's something that I've thought about after I've started seeing all these different creators make things like this. And I like that format, just kind of some daily check-in, daily like, hey, here's what I'm doing today kind of videos. And I'm not gonna say it's gonna be every day. I can't even say for certain that this will continue. But it's something that I want to do. I'm rambling. So one thing that I want to do is kind of go through my process of some game preparation. So here at the Blue Dragon Guild, right now we have two games, two D&D games going on. We have the game that we refer to as our main game, and then we also currently have a playthrough of Vecna that we are playing and recording, and I swear one day it will be up here on the channel. And we also have another game in the works. Chris is going to run Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. It's a game we have played through before. Chris played through as a player, and Mackenzie was the dungeon master. This time Chris is DMing. We've talked about that campaign a lot and how much we loved that game and how much like joy it still brings us to this day. But right now what I'm doing is preparing for our main game, which is this coming Sunday as I'm recording this, or tomorrow as I hope that I will have this edited and uploaded. Where we are at in the main game is Tommy's character, Krylon Redwall, a Warforged, fell in combat against a goblin. Within the lore of my story, there is a war happening between the goblins of the Dagger's Edge Mountains and the Ison Empire. And the party just basically what was going on is the party was wanting to explore the origin of the Warforged, the origin of Tommy's character, because there are a limited number of Warforged in my world. No one really knows how they are made, where where they came from. There's other constructs that are similar to the Warforged that came after the Warforged, and people have seen those, and that's what they assume Tommy's character was. So they are on their way exploring that. So they are going through this place where these goblins are raiding villages and attacking, and they found themselves in an ambush, and Krylon, he died. So now they're trying to find a way to bring him back. Right now they are in the lair of a hag. It's a Bure hag, the ones that are like frosty, icy snow creature monsters. And like we literally ended our last session as like, all right, we're gonna fight it, we're gonna attack. And I said, all right, let's roll some initiative. And I said, that's where we're ending for today. Unfortunately, due to some life circumstances, we haven't played this game in 2 months. And I've been really anxious, really excited. I've had the map set up since then. And it's been such a really fun ride, and seeing them just sit down and be like, well, what are we going to do to bring Krylon back? We have to bring him back. He's our friend. It's been really fun. So I already have this encounter ready to go. I had it done thinking they might just try and fight this hag outright, but they negotiated. They talked to the hag. Tommy's stand-in character that he made signed the deal that the hag was offering, and it was not pleasant at all. So then they're like, yeah, we're not gonna let him do that. So now they're fighting the hag. For world building purposes, you know, there's always going to be another option that the players have available. So I laid out within the story 3 different options. Like I told them of some witch in the woods, which turned out to be this really nasty hag. They heard a rumor that a general in the nearby army camp had a scroll of resurrection just in case. So there's a chance that they can go and do that. Or they could continue on to the fort where the Warforged were made and see if the creator can just straight up help them and try and figure out what's going on. I genuinely don't know which route they are going to take, but I'm very excited to see which route they take. Now I get back to the prep that I'm working on. If they go to the fort, I have how that's gonna go in my head. I don't really need to prepare for that because I've essentially had it prepared for a long time. But if they go to the army camp, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna sneak around and try to sneak in and get it? And on one hand, I think just like a pure stealthy kind of mission would be really fun, and they would have a blast with that. But what my brain started thinking, what if there was another element to that? What if there was something else? So I was like, okay, well, we are in a war with the goblins. Why not have goblins attack the war camp? And so I started thinking about how a bunch of different ways of how to run that. And I started looking through some of my books, and I got to Tome of Beasts 3, and there is, the air conditioner's coming on, there is the Goblin Siege Engine. And I saw that and I said, you know, I think that would be a very fun encounter to run, because as it so happens, a couple of years ago, waddle through all this. This place is a mess. I gotta clean it up. A couple years ago, I had started to make a siege tower with goblins in mind, and funny enough, I totally did not finish painting it. Like, this whole side is not painted. it's bad, but I have this bit of terrain that I can throw out there and have to use. I 3D printed a bunch of tents that I can use, and I've got 3 more to paint up before Sunday, so we'll see if that actually happens. There might be some gray ones sitting on the table. I have in my mind how the layout's gonna go. I'm gonna have to dig out a bunch of different more minis and just have things set up in a fun way. So when I build an encounter, when I look at the monsters and their stat block, if you look at the monster stat block, we'll bust out the old Goblin Siege Engine here. The hit points for the Goblin Siege Engine are 178 hit points, or you can roll 17 d10 and add 85. 9 times out of 10, I roll for the health of the monsters. That way it adds just a little more variance. And I'm not saying that the guys in the group are metagamers, because they're absolutely not, but it's just some fun little variance that I like to add in, because if you have a whole swath of enemies and it's like, oh yeah, I took that goblin down in 1 hit. Oh, well, this goblin has a little more health, even though he is the exact same stat block with the exception of the HP. It's a fun bit of variance that I like to throw into things, and it's a lot of fun for me. I guess I better get some D10 and start rolling. So I just did a whole lot of talking and rolling of dice, and it turns out I hit stop instead of record, so that was great. In total, on the dice, we rolled up 97, and we added the 85 to it, so that brought us to 182 hit points for this Goblin Siege engine. So that's 4 above what the stat block in the book says. So basically, when I map out an encounter, I write out here in my notes, we got HP 182. So then I will block off a section in the notebook here. And just do all of my math in here. And if there's any special things that the monster gets, like this has damage resistance, acid, fire, I'll just write it out here under my notes. Damage resistance, acid, and fire. And so I will just write all of that kind of stuff out, you know. Oh man, they're immune to poison. It's going to be great for somebody. So that's kind of really how I map out my encounters. I just take notes, and if for some reason that it's a monster or a creature, humanoid, whatever, if the party has fought this specific thing before, like a recurring monster, I will put notes in, because it's like, well, they learned from the last time. They learned from the last time. There's 2 spellcasters, 1 can fly. There's a fighter guy who goes up front, and there's also a sneaky rogue guy. So I'll put little notes in there, kind of from the perspective of the monsters. That's really all I'm doing today. Working on getting this encounter kind of worked up, figured out. I'm probably not going to spend too much time on it, because I don't know if the party's actually going to go and do this thing or not. They might say, no, that's too risky, let's just go to the place. And it's okay, because this is something I can absolutely use in the future, especially if they stay in this area. But I'm just gonna have enough that if they go, they go, and we'll see from there. So I don't know how much of what I said in this video is going to make it to the final cut, but thank you for watching Blue Dragon Guild Hobby Vlog #1, and until next time, keep the dice rolling.